Cultivating Calmness Podcast. I am wanting to talk about how grief can be a really funny thing sometimes. You could go decades, grieving someone or something, and then all of a sudden something can just hit you. You could think about a particular memory many times, with no problems or problems, I say in quotes, or concerns or issues, and then all of a sudden you do, and you find yourself getting upset. And there can be many explanations for that, but the reason I want to talk about this today is because this happened to me just the other day, and I wanted to share it with you and let you know that you're not alone, and these things happen, and this is normal, and it's okay, and there's nothing wrong with you because you are having an emotional connection to someone or something that maybe has died or moved on or changed for you in your life. And even if it's been a long time, that doesn't mean that you are suddenly not allowed to have feelings or not allowed to react to that person not being with you anymore. So for me, I live in the Columbus area, and growing up, I don't live far from where I grew up. And when I was younger, there was a mall called Westland Mall, and that was the mall that we would shop at. This was before Tuttle Mall was built, so that didn't even exist when I was younger. I would say below 10. I don't remember what age Tuttle was built and we started going there. And I don't remember what age, Polaris and Easton were built, but that was after Tuttle, to my knowledge. But actually I haven't looked that up. Anyway, those are all malls in the area around me and where I grew up. And so Westland Mall is, or the spot where Westland Mall used to be, is a place that I drive by almost every single day. And over the last couple years, they've been slowly tearing it down. And especially over the last year, even 6 months, they have been demolishing most of what was left of the mall there. And there's still one little piece left, so I'm assuming they're going to use that for something. But the other day, like I said, I've been watching them tear this down, and I have like nostalgic memories, like, oh, I remember shopping there. I remember getting my ears pierced there with my mom, and no problems like about it. It was just more like, oh, it's sad that that's gone. I remember shopping there, right? Well, the other day I'm driving past it, and I don't remember why. I don't know if it was the mood I was in. I don't really know what kind of sparked more emotion, because I've thought of this memory numerous times, and but this day it was different. So I'm driving by and I'm remembering how I went there to that mall one day with my dad. We went through JCPenney, and at the time, I don't know what malls are like now. It's been a while since I've been at a mall when they've been closing, but JCPenney had these big like glass doors, and they would just slowly start to close as it got closer to closing. And so like by the time we actually left there, those doors were like really close to being closed. And if I recall correctly, we had to kind of, squeeze on through those doors to get out. And I'm sure we would have been able to get out some other way. But we were in the middle part of the mall at one of the kiosks. Again, this is how I remember it. And that's the thing about grief sometimes, or just life. We remember things differently than maybe than reality. And if you're with other people, they may remember those memories differently than you do. That's okay. Sometimes we are mistaken, and that's the way that our brain has kind of remembered things or forgotten things. Sometimes there's a reason for that. Sometimes we don't really have an explanation. It's just that that's what your brain and your memory retained. So for me, I remember going to this kiosk that was selling jewelry, and my dad and I picked out a pair of cross earrings for my mom. to give her. Now, my recollection, and the reason I guess I was getting emotional just thinking about it, driving in my car alone, driving past this construction site or demolished site where it's now flattened and they've cleared away all the debris now and it's just dirt with one part of the building still left. You know, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about how we went and got these earrings to give to her. I don't know what the purpose was anymore. I don't know if I had expressed that I wanted to get her something before she died, if it was his idea. I don't remember that part. The part I remember is going and getting them. And I remember feeling like it was really important to get these earrings and I had to give them to her. The part that I also remember is that I believe this was about a week or so before she actually died. She was in hospice care. She was in our home. And, you know, I think at the time, and it's hard for me to recall, you know, specifics, but I think being a child, I was 7. I think that I thought, you know, she could still get better, right? There would still be some kind of miracle. She would get better. We would wake up one day and the cancer would be gone and she would, you know, we would go on with life. So I don't know if that was my reason for getting earrings. I really don't recall the reason we went and got them. My, you know, trying to put things together now maybe is that, you know, I thought maybe if I got her these, it would make her all better, or it was just a small parting gift to say, you know, I love you. So we brought them home, we gave them to her. And my recollection again is that about a week or so later, she died. And I don't remember if they put those earrings on her in her, you know, casket or not. That really wasn't the point. But just thinking about that memory and driving by, just like tears were flowing and I was thinking about it. And like I said, I've thought about that memory lots of times, from the time it happened till now. And, you know, it's not always one that gets me really emotional. And even right now, like I can talk about it and, you know, I'm feeling a little emotional, but, in that moment right then, that, you know, kind of brought up a lot of emotion for me. So I just wanted to share that experience with you. If you are going through grief and you're feeling like, you know, or people maybe are saying to you, you should be over this, or, you know, why is this so hard for you? Like, grief is hard. No matter how your loved one died, whether it was expected or unexpected, or, you know, someone who was older, like, you know, a grandparent who, you know, a lot of times we think, well, it's kind of their time, you know, or a child where we definitely think it's definitely not their time and this is really unfair. You know, it doesn't make it any easier, the age of the person who has died, to like think about them, no matter the circumstances. So, you know, I just want you to know that if, you know, for me, it will be 30 years in 2025 that my mom has been dead. And, you know, most of the time I'm fine, but there are times just like being in church and listening to certain songs and singing about certain things. And sometimes it's the music, sometimes it's the words, sometimes my mind is over here and we're singing over here. And, you know, I may just randomly be crying. That's okay. You know, it's okay to miss somebody. It's okay to think about them and to remember them. And just remember, you know, you have never been here today ever before. Okay. So you have never experienced this day in your life before. And so it's another day to kind of add to your life bookshelf. I know I've used that analogy for grief before. And so you're constantly adding to that bookshelf. And so you're going to constantly look back at your experiences from a new light today. So you lost somebody died, you know, today you're going to see that loss differently than maybe you did yesterday, because whatever you're experiencing today is not the same as yesterday. a lot of times our days run into each other and we feel like it's kind of monotonous and it's the same thing over and over and over again. And that may be true, but you've still never been here today. So if you're taken off guard for like, why was I reacting this way today? I've never reacted that way before. Just know that that can be a normal experience. Not everybody has that, and that's okay too. But if you do, don't beat yourself up about it. Don't think like, I'm not healed, I'm not okay. You probably are. You just have a new way of looking at that experience that you hadn't before. And it's a way of you processing and you working through some of that emotion and that hurt that's, you still have inside you. So I just wanted to share a little bit about that today. And I hope that you are enjoying your holiday season. Holidays can be especially difficult when we're talking about grief, and find ways to work your loved ones into your holiday. So for me, that might be placing a wreath on their grave. I've done that. Actually, I haven't done that yet. So I have one, and I will be taking care of that probably soon. It could be hanging their ornaments on the tree, or lighting a candle, or making something for them or about them, or having a special area in your house dedicated to them, whether that's a shelf or a wall or, anything. There's lots of ways you can remember a loved one, and especially during the holidays. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to need to take a break. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to not participate if you don't think you can. There's sometimes a delicate balance between isolating and just needing some space. So we want to be cognizant and aware of that. If you're isolating all the time and you're not wanting to be around people, that may not be the healthiest or best thing you can do. But if it's, I go for a little bit and then I need to leave because I'm too overwhelmed or it's just too much right now, that would be a little different, but everybody handles grief and life and stress differently. So I just encourage you to think about that and how you plan to incorporate your loved one into your holidays, so you don't feel like it's just come up on you too fast. So thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again next week.